All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out toiling in this truth. I'm Pathakamoth Jim S. Dallas, and I'm just coming back at you with another quick hit lesson. I think I'm going to entitle this one, Season 1 is at its end, and Season 2, the next episode is about to begin. Because, hey, we've been in Season 1, man. We've been in an episode where Esau, the so-called self-proclaimed white man, true biblical Edomites, have been in rulership, man. And their rulership is coming to an end, and the next episode, the next season 2, is about to begin with the Israelites, Jacob, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negroid descent. You make up this, the no longer 12 lost tribes, man, because we know who we are in these times. So, season 1 is at its end, and season 2, the next episode is about to begin. So without any further ado, because the scriptures go into, when you read in Matthew the 24th chapter and verse 3, it goes into the disciples stepping to Yahushua, whom the world ignorantly refers to as Jesus Christ, and asking him what would be the parting of basically the signs of the time, Salakia, and the signs of thy coming, and the end of the world, which it goes into it also in Second Ezra, which I'm going to bring out, which lines up perfectly with that. The end of the world. When you go into that word "world," is ion, which means a time period, an age, the end of this time period or age, Esau's rulership. Because when you read in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, in verse 20, it goes into how Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. Those two blessings which was given in Genesis, the 27th chapter. There were two blessings of the fatness of the earth and the dew from heaven, man, from above. You know what I'm saying? And of course, one, Esau would rule by the sword, and the second blessing, which is Jacob's, which is the kingdom of heaven. He would have the plenty of corn and wine, and his brethren would serve him. So that's the kingdom of heaven. So we're at the end of the first season, and season 2, the next episode, is about to start. It's about to begin. So without any further ado, because Esau, it's time for him to go into slavery and go through the things that he put Jake through, man. The second Ezra chapter 6, and I'll start at verse 6, and it reads, "Then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other." So Yahweh Bashim Yahushai created everything, by way of his son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh created, it was Yahweh's blueprint. Of course, Yahweh Shai implemented that blueprint. And everything is going to be ended by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai by way of Yahweh Shai. Verse 7, "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times?" Same thing they ask in Matthew 24, man. "Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?" Season 1 is at its end, and season 2, the next episode, is about to begin. Verse 8, "And he said unto me," so they were asking, how do we know? And of course we know by the prophecies, the signs, in the earth, man, things that are going on in the earth, "And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau," which you can get that account in Genesis, the 25th chapter. The two sons of Isaac and Rebekah were born. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, which was Esau. He was born without pigment. And of course, Jacob came out after, and he held the heel of Esau, which represents the nation of Israel bringing the Edomites down in the last days, in the end times, which we're in those times now, man, by way of our big brother Yahushua when he returns. That's what he's coming back to do. Take these devils down, man. And so he grabbed that heel. That's what that heel represent. Here's the point: for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Which is what the disciples were asking Yahushua, man. When will be the end of the first and the beginning of it that, that followeth, same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's something else coming, man. So season 1 is at its end, and season 2, the next episode, is about to begin, man. And of course, when the Lord returns, which he's returning, he's not returning as a man, man. You know what I'm saying? He's going to return as a roaring lion, man. He came as the sacrificial lamb the first time. He had to come into the very creation that he created, and take an L, man, and lower himself, to become that sacrificial lamb for the nation of Israel, beginning starting with the elect, to return back to the Most High Yahweh, because the Lord requires blood, man, to atone for sins. Leviticus 17:11, and the nation of Israel, he got rid of them, pursuing the Hosea, the 1st chapter, man. You know what I'm saying? And the only way to return, that adoption back was through the blood of our big brother Yahushua, man. You know what I'm saying? So he had to come into the very world that he created and be humiliated and put to death, man. They spit on him, slapped him around, hit him, put a crown of thorns on his head, nailed him to a cross, pierced him with a spear. You know what I'm saying? And of course, gave him the piss, like Apostle Gabar goes into, man. Which the scriptures say vinegar, but hey, it was piss, man. Some BS, man, some nonsense. So he's coming back to avenge for those things, man. They're not going to get away, man. Esau has to pay. So season 1 is over. It's at its end, and season 2, the next episode, is about to begin. He's not returning as that man, that sacrificial lamb anymore. He's already done that. When he comes back, when he returns, he's not going to meet thee as a man. He's going to be the roaring lion. Isaiah 47:3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and will not meet thee as a man. So he's not meeting you as a man, man. He's coming back in all power and glory, man. As a matter of fact, in Revelation, the 1st chapter, in verse 7, it goes into it. Behold, Revelations 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, which those clouds represent chariots, man. And every eye shall see him. So all people on the planet Earth is going to know that that's the Lord when he returns. They're going to see it. And they also which pierced him. And he made a separation there of those very devils that I just spoke about that pierced him, man. He's got something special waiting for those devils, man. And they're here. They're back today. Probably the owners or in some high position here, owners of a Fortune 500 company or some successful position here. And he's coming back to get them, man. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, Aman. So these people are going to be running around screaming and hollering and wailing, man. The day of the Lord is going to be darkness and not light, man. The scriptures tell you that. In the book of Amos, the 5th chapter, man. You know what I'm saying? So let me really quick go here to Matthew. It's Matthew 24 and verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So the Lord is about to return in his power, man, in his glory. He's not going to return as that sacrificial lamb anymore. That man, he's coming in his power and glory, man, that roaring lion. He said he's not going to meet you as a man, man, So when he returns, he's coming to take these devils down, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is going to begin that war in heaven, man, which let's go there real quick. Because the earth is in process of management change, man. The earth is in dire need of new management. And that's what's happening, man. And in season 1, the 1st episode, you know what I'm saying? Everything is through, man. You know what I'm saying? Creation groaneth, man. All creation is longing for new management of the earth. The earth itself is groaning for new management, man, because this devil has done nothing but ruin the earth, and they got to pay. The scriptures tell you that, he that destroyed the earth, he's going to destroy those that destroy the earth, man. I believe that's in Revelation, the 11th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Revelations 12:7. This is that war that's going to lead to that second season 2, man. You know, the next episode, Revelations 20 verse 7. And there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So these devils are going to get cast out of their heaven, which is rulership, man. You know, heaven and hell are conditions played out in the earth, man. Heaven represents rulership, and hell represents oppression, slavery, getting your tail whooped, man, on a daily basis. You know, you being on the bottom, man. And it says, and there's going to be war in heaven, man. That this hasn't happened yet, man. You know, the church is taught a lie, man. You know, this war is on its way, man. And they show you that war in that movie Independence Day with Will Smith, man. You know, when the chariots of the Lord come and crack these clouds, man, and line up in the sky, and Esau and his military, you know, their B-50 whatever bombers and all their little aircraft, and you know, there's going to be a war right here in your skies, man. You know, right here on earth, and these devils are going to lose. It says, and prevailed not, man. You know, so they're going to get their tails whooped, man. They're going to lose, and they're going to lose royally, man. As a matter of fact, when you read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, it goes into it. This is Daniel 7 in verse 9, and it reads, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and those thrones represent rulerships. You know, just like with Yahushua, you know, there's going to be a joint heir, you know, Romans the 8th chapter in verse 17, with the nation of Israel, beginning starting with the elect. You know, Esau has the same thing with these nations, Revelations the 17th chapter, you know, and they gave, roughly paraphrasing, these kings that really didn't have weren't kings, rulers, basically. They gave 1 hour with the beast, you know. You know, they didn't have a king. They didn't have a kingdom, but they received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. You know what I'm saying? That's that joint heir with Esau for these nations, man. Same thing. Same thing. So, you know, it says, I beheld. So that joint rulership is going to be taken down when Yahushua returns. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. You know, they're going to be taken down. And when you really read in Revelations, the 19th chapter, in verse 12, it's synonymous. Revelations 19 and 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. You know, those crowns are synonymous with those thrones, rulerships. He's coming to take them down, man. And he had a name written that no man knew but himself, which is going into his rank, man. But when you read up, it goes into how at the end of the verse 11, it says, he doth judge and make war. He's coming to make war, man, and judge these people. That's what we were reading in Revelations, the 12th chapter and verse 7. That's that same war, man. You know, there's going to be a war in the heavens, man. As a matter of fact, Esdras goes into that. So let's get that real quick. 2nd Esdras chapter 13. And I'll start at verse 5 and read down a few verses. And it reads, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And that's Yahushua coming out of the heavens, man, the Shemayim, man. You know, the waters, you know, what we call space. It says, but I beheld, and lo, he graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. And that mountain is representative of that chariot, man. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not, because it wasn't a mountain, but it's going to be as big as a mountain. It was a chariot, a father chariot. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, yet durst fight. So they're going to be afraid, but they're going to fight anyway, because the Lord is going to put the spirit on them, because they are the modern day Egyptians. He did the same thing to Pharaoh back in the day, man. And he likens them to Pharaoh in Romans the 9th chapter. You know what I'm saying? To show his power the same way with them that he did with the original Pharaoh, man, back in the physical land of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You know, he put the spirit on Pharaoh to rebel so he could tax his ass. And he's going to do the same thing to Esau in these times, who is the modern day pharaohs, man. So they're going to be afraid, but they're going to fight, man. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor instrument of war. He doesn't need it. He's the Lord, man. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. Those laser beams from the chariots, man. They show you that in War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise, turning these people into powder, dust, man, which is going to go into it. Those concentrated beams of light, man, heat. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude. All these nations that's going to be gathered together, they're going to come together to fight the Lord, man. With we not in one common cause come together. Ronald Reagan's punk ass, that devil, back in the day in the 80s, Salakia gave that speech, man. During the time that he was putting together the what was known as the Star Wars program. And of course in these times Donald Trump picked it up. The Space Force, man. You know what I'm saying? The Space Force, and there's a 60-minute piece where Elon Musk was on, and it had a picture of some space shuttle or something, and on that space shuttle it had the Dragon, man. And which I think I actually have a screenshot, and I don't see it. I don't know where, but I know I got a screenshot. But I'll hey, it is what it is. But and it had the dragon on it, dragon, which is that same dragon in Revelation, the 12th chapter, man. It's talking about Esau, man, when they come to try to fight the Lord. So it says, 2 Ezra 13 and 11, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So they're going to get burned up, man. Turned to powder, man. And that's what's coming. And that's what's going to be the beginning of when you read in Ecclesiasticus Sirach, that next phase of things, man, the season 2, the next episode, verse 8. Sirach 10 and 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, man. Because pursuing to Daniel, the 4th chapter in verse 17, the Lord rules in the kingdom of men, and he gives it to whomever he pleases. Right now, he's giving it to the basis of men, which is Esau. But soon he's going to take it from him. We're reading it right here, man. It also talks about that promotion, and I believe it's in Psalm the 75th chapter. Psalms the 75th chapter. How he raises up one and takes down another, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord does these things, man, and that's what's happening. We're in those times, and we're heading into this right here, Revelations 21, that new heaven and earth, man, the reset button. The Lord is about to push that reset button, and Season 2, the next episode is going to begin, Revelations 21 and 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. So these people are going to be wiped out. Isaiah 24 and 1, the Lord said he's going to empty the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? He's finna start this thing all over, man. And that new heaven and new earth are just refreshed. When you go in the word new, it's refreshed. New management, man. New rulership is coming, man. The earth is going to be cleansed. New rulers. The Israelites, beginning starting with our big brother Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And that New Jerusalem is not an actual city. It's the people, the 144,000 beamed back down to the earth, going through the earth, man, gathering up the remnant of these nations of left, beginning starting with the elite, Esau, and gathering them and putting them in chains. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. So we're going to have our power back, man, and nobody's going to be able to touch us ever again. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, For the former things are passed away. This is going away, man. Season 1 is over. We're at the end of it. We're heading into season 2, the next episode, man. Jacob's blessing, man. There were 2 blessings, not 1. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. The words of the Lord are not going to come back to him void. These things have been spoken. It's going to happen. Which brings me to my last point in Matthew, the 6th chapter, in the Lord's Prayer. You know, thy kingdom come, Matthew 6:10, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. And that's what's coming, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, the kingdom of heaven ruled in righteousness, man. You know, those those rods of iron coming out, man, and getting everything put back in its rightful order, man. Righteousness in the earth, man. That's the next episode. Season 1 is at its end. Season 2, the next episode is about to begin. So, hey, you know, Esau is through. It's over. It's time for the Israelites, you know, Kwam Yasharala, man. The rise of the Israelites, man. You know, you had the rise of the planet of the apes, which that was about us, the Israelites. You know, Esau thinks he's slick, but he's not, man. You know what I'm saying? We know what all these things are actually meaning in the spirit. But, hey, that's what's coming, man. So, with that, hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Waharakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shal Dawadah, Shalom.